This is the IZIP Trekking Enlightened, and it does kind of look enlightened when you see this bike the first time, because the battery is integrated in the down tube. It's actually one of the first designs that IZIP did this for, and now they have several bikes with this design, but it's great because it sort of balances the weight of the bike, and it keeps it sort of low to the ground and positioned towards the front, and it just creates a streak look and an enlightened look, I suppose. And in terms of trekking, it's got a front and rear fenders and this nice rack and just a nice aesthetic, you know. And if you're riding this over long distances, there's the little seat post shock right here and a shock on the front fork. So a lot of great features here, including disc brake up there on the front, which is really nice. On the rear, they've opted for a V brake. IZIP doesn't really make this bike anymore. Again, it was sort of the first attempt at this new design with batteries in the down tube, and since then they've moved on. But it's one you might see on Craigslist, you know, used, or maybe a friend has it. So I wanted to go over the specs and just talk about what it has to offer, some of the pros and cons. So first of all, it's just sort of a pedal assist design, and you can see here, you turn it on, it tells you how full the battery is, and then you can increase the rate of power assist, they call it. And that means that as you're pedaling, the bike senses that, and it boosts you with the motor. Now, the motor isn't especially strong. It's a 250 watt geared rear hub motor right there. And so, you know, you're primarily relying on the gears, and you've got several. I've got 3 on the front there, and you've got shifters up here, trigger shifters on both sides. So 3 here, 8 gears there, so 24 speeds to choose from. And again, that's great because you really are going to be pedaling most of the time. The battery is a 24 volt 10 amp hour lithium ion cell, and so that's nice because it's not as heavy as if it was a 36 volt 10 amp hour, and it allows you to kind of get away with a little bit less and really enjoy riding this bike more and pedaling along. So, it's kind of mixed. If you're a heavier rider and you're expecting this to be like a scooter, it's not going to do that. You've got to pedal along with it. But, again, that frees you up. There's a little bit less weight here, and you get this nice, elegant design. So I love the fenders, I love the rack and the shocks and everything we talked about. One of the challenges of this bike, however, is that the spoke gauge is a little bit narrower. It's, thinner, weaker spokes. And so one thing I've heard about this bike is that as you ride it over time, the spokes can bend or they can break, and then you've got to go to a shop and get some help with that, and in some cases even using Loctite to get the spokes fixed. Now they've upgraded, and they've got higher gauge spokes now on the new IZIP designs, and again they've improved and evolved from this. But if you're looking for one used and you come across it, just look at the spokes, maybe take it for a test ride, and make sure the bike's in decent shape, and think about whether or not you're willing to screw around a little bit with those spokes, and consider the Loctite option if they do start giving you some problems. So that's kind of it. This is a friend's bike. I'm not going to hop on it or do a ride that way, but again, it's kind of a gentler design. It's one that requires you to pedal along. It's a little bit lighter, but IZIP is part of the Curry family, and they offer good bikes. They've been around for a long time, and it's worth checking out. For the full review on this bike, pictures and more information, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. I'll see you there.